For my first stream back, I decided to do something a little different and react to a video from a guy called, let's see, writer Brandon McNulty. I feel like I've heard of this guy before. He made a compilation of the worst scenes to him in every Batman movie, and I'm going to see if I agree or disagree with him on these scenes. Let me go ahead and present, and let's get into this. Okay, make sure the volume's pretty low. So
we're going to talk about the worst scene.
Get
Get your rubber lips on, because today we're going to talk about the worst scene from every Batman movie.
Is that going to be one of them? Joker kicking him like that?
The way this works is that I'm going to go through each entry in order.
I guess that scene's kind of awkward, but I wouldn't say
release,
worst scene.
Pick the worst scene and explain why I believe it's
that was a good scene. That was a great scene. Him leading the people out of the water like that.
Keep in mind, I'll be judging these scenes from a writing standpoint, which means I won't be criticizing things like acting or special effects or costume design. By the way, my name is Brandon McNulty.
Why not? All right, he's advertising his book.
I'm the author of Story Made Simple, and welcome to my writing channel. First off, let's start with the movie that everyone's been begging me to talk about, Batman 1966. Every day I get thousands of comments from people saying,
the shark repellent.
And Brandon, when are you going to watch Batman 66? You got to talk about Batman 66. We're going to hold your family hostage till you talk about Batman 66. And in an effort to protect my loved ones, I'll discuss it now.
I've seen this movie once. I've seen a lot of the old series. It's just too campy for me. I guess if I'd have grown up watching that back then, I would have watched the crap out of it. But I'm more used to the serious Batman.
This is the movie where...
But man, I love all of those actors because they've been in other things that I love. Cesar Romero, Frank Gorshin, and Burgess Meredith especially. And of course, Adam West.
4 different Batman villains team up to turn people into dust. And hey, give them credit. They pulled it off 50 years before Thanos did. Not only that, but they gave us exploding sharks, fake Russian accents, and mind-bending riddles.
What does a turkey do when he flies upside down?
He gobbles up.
As for the worst scene, it's tricky to pick one because this movie is deliberately goofy. Like when I started watching this thing, I saw the exploding shark scene and thought to myself, oh, that has to be our winner. But it was basically just there to set the tone for the rest of the film. Now, one scene that I thought was absolutely stupid from top to bottom is the torpedo scene. Actually, there are 2 torpedo scenes, so I have to specify and say it's the first one. What happens here is Batman and...
I think it's unfair to use a scene from this
Robin
movie.
are trying to strike back against the villains, and then their belts get magnetically stuck to a buoy. Now, you might think that they would just remove their belts, but no, that's too sensible. Instead, Batman takes out a random bat device, and he uses it to destroy one torpedo after another until his bat batteries run out. Then it's like, oh man, what is he going to do? Is he going to take his belt off? No, of course not. Instead, he and Robin just brace for the worst until they get miraculously saved when an off-screen porpoise swims into the torpedo and sacrifices its life to save them. I mean, I don't know what upsets me more here. The fact that the script torpedoed an innocent porpoise, or the fact that the script never established the porpoise as a potential solution in the first place.
What was the porpoise's porpoise?
The moment comes out of nowhere. It's Porpoise Ex Machina, and our hero should be taken away in handcuffs for letting this shit happen. Next up, we got Batman 89. This one often gets mistaken for a good movie, but if you've watched it recently...
Hold up. We're not going to have any Batman 89 slander here, buddy. We're going to throw down.
The problem here is that this movie is a coincidence factory. Batman turns a mobster into the Joker. Then Batman and the Joker fall in love with the same woman. Then,
okay, if this dude read the comics, he'd know that was part of Joker's origin.
Wayne is visiting said woman, the Joker prepares to shoot Bruce, and right before he does, he recites a line about dancing in the pale moonlight.
That was a Tim Burton invention, the whole Joker killing his parents and dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight. That line, I always liked that line. Even as a kid, I loved this movie, and I still do.
Bruce is like, wait, that's exactly what the guy who killed my parents said. And then there's a flashback showing how the guy who eventually became the Joker was actually the guy who shot Bruce's parents and turned him into Batman.
Okay, some of his memory might have been repressed up to that point. That's how I kind of understood it.
Batman. I gotta say, I almost drop kicked my TV when I saw this, and yet it's still not the worst
Okay, so he didn't see it in theaters, and he didn't. We can assume this guy didn't grow up watching that. He watched it at a later date when he was older.
scene in the movie. No, the worst scene is when the Joker faces off against the Batwing.
No, I love that too. I
After the
love
Joker
these
parades
scenes.
around Gotham while spreading
I love
laughing
this whole movie.
gas. Batman then flies in,
That shit
launches
was-
rockets at the Joker's parade floats, and gets 2 direct hits. Then he turns his sights on the Joker himself. Once Batman's targeting system locks on, he pulls the trigger and launches rockets and machine gun fire at his enemy. Somehow, everything misses, and
It's not somehow. He has a no kill rule. I mean, I know we do see him kind of kill people in these movies, but he's not straight up murdering the Joker.
the Joker takes the
Continue.
world's largest revolver out of his hand.
I was
He
laughing.
fires a single shot at the Batwing, and that's all it takes to send Batman into a dramatic crash landing. It's the dumbest plane crash you'll ever see outside of The Last Jedi, and honestly, I don't even know where
Don't even mention The Last Jedi.
to begin with this scene. On one hand, why is Batman using a machine gun? On the other hand, why is Batman locking onto a target and missing with his machine gun? And then how does a single bullet drop the high-tech Batplane? This is nuts.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on.
Come on,
Let's
let's get.
No, I don't want to get that nuts. At this stage, I want the story to take itself more seriously. But instead, what we get here is a case of the writers pulling strings for the sake of goofy spectacle. Next, we have Batman
It was for the sake of the story, to get them at that church cathedral.
Returns. And this is a weird movie. It's technically better than Batman.
I love Batman Returns. Well, it's a great movie, great Christmas movie.
89, but for some reason I enjoy it less. The central problem is that Batman only appears in the movie for about 29 seconds, and he feels more like an obstacle for the
That's-
villains rather than a true
That's bullshit. No, he's exaggerating there. It's more than 29 seconds.
protagonist. It's like the writers gave up on him as a character, and they only included him out of obligation after they wrote a story about the Penguin, Max Schreck, and Catwoman. As for the worst scene, we have a
You do want your villains to be compelling. I think Tim Burton did a great job.
buffet of options here. While I was rewatching this
Batman's
movie,
so
every
compelling
5
as well.
minutes I was shaking my head in disgust. There's one scene where Batman gleefully kills a man with
Yeah,
an
that-
explosive device. Then there's one where Shrek has the Penguin run for mayor in a non-election year. And then we have all these wacky Catwoman scenes. I mean, you could close your eyes, pick a scene at random, and
Comic
be
book
right.
movie.
But for me, the
Some
worst
things you
one
need to
is the
forgive.
final battle between Catwoman and Shrek. Here, she's seeking revenge on Shrek, who killed her but didn't really kill her midway through the movie. At the end, she declares she's going to get even, but that's when Batman arrives to tell her that murder is wrong, even though he's clearly into that shit. Batman insists on taking Shrek to the
Some of
police,
it is a
and in
little
an effort to sway
inconsistent.
Catwoman, he gives her the old "you and I are the same person" speech before ripping, and I mean ripping, his mask off. He does this in front of Shrek, which makes absolutely no sense, and then Shrek reacts like this.
Bruce Wayne, why are you dressed up like Batman?
Because he is Batman, you moron.
I don't know what's dumber, Batman revealing his secret identity to the criminal he's about to send to jail, or Shrek needing to have Batman's identity explained to him. Now we move on to the best Batman movie
It's
of the 20th.
because people can't believe that somebody like that could be Batman. Even though he's rich, he seems like a dunderhead because it's all a persona he puts on.
Century. And if you think I'm talking about Batman Forever, you've never been more wrong in your life. No, I'm talking about Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh no,
which
oh
acts as
no, he is not going after this movie right here. This movie is a fucking masterpiece. I wonder which scene he's gonna bring up. I can't even think of a single scene that felt out of place or didn't jive.
Sort of prequel to the Batman animated series. What I love about this one is it takes a fresh approach to Batman's origin story by showing Bruce Wayne navigating this situation where his
It's
girlfriend's
the Joker
family is at
before he becomes the
the
Joker.
mercy of the mob. The story is told in non-linear fashion, alternating between a present-day mystery and the origins of Bruce's crime-fighting career. Mix in a surprisingly
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it before, but she's the main antagonist in this movie, the Phantasm. She's getting revenge on the people who killed her father.
compelling romance and some heavy emotional impact, and you've got one of the best Batman movies out there. As for the worst scene, I had trouble picking one because the movie is great from start to finish. That means I have to nitpick here, and the scene I'm going with.
Okay, yeah. So he was struggling for scenes probably to add into this video, so that's why he got
Police
nitpicky.
chase. Now, I love this scene for its spectacle and intensity. It opens with Batman locating and fighting the Phantasm, but then the police interrupt, and
Okay, the police. Batman was still at odds with the police like early in his career. At least the first couple of years, they were still after him. Like this is covered in other media, in Batman Arkham Origins. This is covered in the comics, of course. So I don't know why he's
kicks off a
surprised.
manhunt that pushes Batman to his limits.
They
gets-
if you watch this movie, you know that everybody thinks Batman is the one killing the criminals at the beginning. Like they think he's finally lost it. So, and it wasn't a stretch for people like Harvey Bullock to believe that Batman was capable of this because he calls him a whack job all the time.
Bloody, bruised, and concussed, and there's a grounded realism to this scene that you rarely see in Batman stories. Eventually, he gets trapped inside a construction site, and in order to escape, he sends his cape and cowl flying outside as a decoy.
That
The
okay?
scene then ends with him running from the
So
cops
that why
and
he's saying
catching a
it's
ride
that
from his
scene.
girlfriend, Andrea. So, what's my problem with this scene? Well, it's the lack of consequences. We see the cops capturing the Batwing early on, then Batman suffers injuries, and finally at the end, he runs around with his mask off.
What do you mean the lack of consequences? He's fighting for his life. He barely gets away. They're
These
after him.
moments make for great tension, but they don't impact the overall story. By this point, his girlfriend already knows he's Batman, so him running around without his mask doesn't lead to any serious
The
payoff.
cops.
Again, this is
Okay, if the cops catch him without his mask on, he's fucked. That's the stakes here.
not a bad scene, but I wanted more out of it. I wanted more than just a clean escape. Okay, now we move on to Batman Forever.
You're supposed to have the possibility of him getting caught with his mask off, but you don't want the cops to find out he's actually Batman because then there's no more Batman after that.
This is a good movie if you like bad movies. It's sloppy, but it does just enough to be
I
watchable.
still love that
Bruce
movie.
finds himself facing off against Two-Face while dating a creepy psychologist
Okay.
who's obsessed with Batman.
If he's going to include this movie, though, there's got to be some Batman and Robin. Yep. I was looking
And
forward.
Robin appears about midway through, and the Riddler invents a suspicious viewer
I bet I know what he's going to say. Holy rusted metal, Batman.
headset that everyone in Gotham buys without thinking twice. And yeah, this movie's a mess.
Oh, wait.
As
Is
for
it
its
going to be
worst
that
scene,
scene?
we have a lot of mouth-watering options here, but I gotta go
Who the hell are you?
with the one where the Riddler and Two-Face break into Wayne Manor. It opens with Two-Face and the Riddler.
No, that scene is awesome. I love them pretend to be trick-or-treaters and everything. And then Riddler going around just setting bombs everywhere.
Riddler trick-or-treating, then they beat up Alfred before interrupting Bruce's date with his creepy girlfriend. Bruce fights back, which is great, but then he gets shot in the head, which should be a big deal, but it's treated like a paper cut. Meanwhile, the Riddler locates
Two-Face just is a horrible shot, I guess.
the Batcave and sort of destroys it, but he doesn't do enough damage. Then the movie commits the cardinal sin of
Really?
giving
He shuts it down, man. Everything's destroyed. The Batmobile is destroyed, except for I guess the flying machine and then the Batwing. I mean, and the submarine, which I guess he couldn't see.
Two-Face the opportunity to kill Batman before Riddler talks him out of it for a dumb reason.
It's Riddler's insane obsession with getting the one up on Batman, outsmarting him. He doesn't feel like at this point that he's outsmarted him enough, I think, to kill him. It's just part of his neuroses.
Don't kill him if you kill him.
That's why I think Riddler's one of the most compelling villains there is. He actually is his own doing, own undoing most of the time because he leaves these clues because he actually wants to get caught deep down, and so that's why he leaves all these clues for Batman to find. It's a crazy dichotomy the two of them have.
You won't learn nothing.
There's a really good episode of Batman the Animated Series where the Riddler traps Batman in like a warehouse or something, and he's got a bomb that's about to go off. Batman jumps into a safe, and Riddler doesn't know that. And when the bomb goes off, Batman comes out, Riddler's like, "How did you escape? How? I need to know." Batman doesn't tell him, refuses to tell him, and Riddler. The episode ends with Riddler in the asylum, still yelling like, "I need to know! I have to know! How did he do it?" It's so good.
This is one of those scenes that should have been devastating, but it pulls all its punches. Should we burn down Wayne Manor? No. Should we thoroughly destroy the Batcave? No. Should we kill Batman, aka the only guy who can stop us? Nah, let's just let him live and kidnap his creepy girlfriend so the plot can plot. Now it's time to talk about the other Joe Shoemaker film, Batman and Robin.
It's Schumacher. At least get the guy's name right. Okay. R.I.P. Joel Schumacher.
Val Kilmer wanted nothing to do with this movie, so they replaced him with George I Don't Have a Clooney, and they added Mr. Freeze,
Good
Mr.
one.
Bane, Poison Ivy, and Batgirl to make
It's this Bane. It's not Mr. Bane.
things more colorful. This is one of those special movies where almost every scene could qualify as the worst scene.
And the back
script
credit card.
repeatedly goes out of its way to be terrible,
The back credit card is legendary.
and much like Batman Forever, it loves to pull its punches. We have 3 lethal villains, yet nobody of importance dies. And the worst scene of all is
I know Mr. Freeze. I think is still a compelling villain. This movie made me feel sorry for him. I don't remember if I had seen the animated series up to this point. Like not maybe that particular episode, because I think this was my first introduction to Mr. Freeze.
the one with Robin's rubber lips. I talked about it in last week's video, but I only scratched the surface of how bad it actually is. This scene does everything wrong that it possibly could. If I paid you $1 million to write a worse version of this thing, you wouldn't be able to do it. The scene opens with Robin visiting Poison Ivy's lair. He wants info on
It's just
Freeze's
funny to listen to somebody trying to critique this movie seriously. It's like, come on, these 2 movies, Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, they were supposed to be like an homage to the '60s series, so it was going to be more campy, less serious than the previous iterations.
master plan, while she wants to murder Robin with a kiss. They
And you know
negotiate-
why? You know why? Because the studio was unsatisfied with Batman Returns, how dark it was. They couldn't sell toys. With these movies, they really pushed for the toy marketing.
He says he'll kiss her if she reveals Freeze's plan. Then she
That
just
worked.
flat
You got
out tells him the truth. Deception would have made much more sense here, and it could have made for some intriguing conflict, but then again, it's the 90s, it's Batman, who needs good writing? From there, Robin consents to the kiss, and Poison Ivy gives it to him. Game over, right? Wrong, because our hero remembered to wear his rubber lips. Smart thinking. Except then he brainlessly removes the lips while still in kissing distance. Now, at this moment, Ivy should kiss/kill him right here, or maybe even strangle him with her vines, but instead, she inexplicably pushes him into her pool where he's totally safe. Then she
Oh,
gets
yeah. Even as a kid, I remember thinking, well, she could still freaking grab him and kiss him again.
up and leaves. And that's when she runs into Batman, who she immediately wraps up in vines. Instead of killing him, and remember, these are the only heroes out there who can stop her and Freeze. Instead of killing
Well,
him,
okay,
she
if this
attempts
guy knew anything about Poison Ivy, he'd know that the plants could kill people. They can strangle people to death. And that's why she just let the plants have them.
to leave again, and that's when Batgirl
That's
arrives
where
to
her
kick
power
ass
comes
and
from.
lecture Ivy on feminism. The battle ends with Ivy being knocked into one of her plants, which eats her even though she controls the thing. Now, obviously, this scene has
never
no
understood
respect for logic, but what's even worse is that Batgirl is the one who defeats Ivy. This is a problem because leading up to this moment, Batgirl has absolutely no connection to Ivy. They never meet, they never
Okay, I always kind of understood the scene as Batgirl earning her stripes, basically, like proving that she could be one of them.
speak, they never see each other. In order for a villain's defeat to mean something, we want the villain to be defeated by someone with a personal connection to them. Throughout the movie, Ivy tempts and manipulates Robin, and their subplot builds and builds toward this confrontation, yet the scene ends with Robin uselessly swimming around while Batgirl delivers the final blow.
Oh, you know what? This point makes me think of the ending of The Dark Knight Rises. He's probably going to bring up that scene with Catwoman killing Bane instead of Batman. She just freaking shoots him with the bat pod.
If you want to include Batgirl here, that's fine, but Robin needs to be the one who finishes off Ivy and their subplot. All right, it's safe to take off your rubber lips because now we're moving on to some good movies. Batman Begins redeemed the franchise by giving us a Bruce Wayne we
Okay, I want to add a caveat. Batman 89 and Batman Returns are still good movies.
We actually care about before pitting him against a number of villains, including Scarecrow, Carmine Falcone, Ra's al Ghul, and Joffrey Baratheon. As for the worst scene,
Okay,
it was
that is stupid. Kid was in it for like 2 minutes. That is not Joffrey. That's the kid before he became Joffrey.
It's a two-horse race between the one where Bruce burns down Ra's al Ghul's temple and the one where Bruce lets Ra's die aboard the train. The problem I have
Okay, yeah, there was still some killing in these movies too. I'll admit.
with both scenes is that they
We
contradict
still haven't gotten a like lore accurate, a comic book accurate Batman on screen in live action anyway.
Bruce's personal code of not killing people. And honestly, I got to go with the temple scene here because this is the most self-defeating scene in the entire movie. It opens with Bruce being ordered to execute a criminal, and he
Okay, I know what he's gonna say right here. you let this criminal go, but then you burn the whole place down, so he's probably still dead anyway.
declares that he won't allow himself to become a murderer. Then, immediately after this declaration, he kicks off a chain of explosive events that kills every criminal in the building. This is so frustrating because they establish the character's code, then they immediately violate it moments later. And I know some people will try to defend it. They'll say, oh,
Just
well, he
say-
didn't intend to kill anyone,
It's just a convoluted way for him to escape,
so it's okay. But let's be real here.
because
Bruce
there was
knowingly
no way he was getting out of there alive. Without doing this.
Starts a fire in a wooden building full of explosives, and it leads to a bunch of deaths. This is the wrong way to handle it. And it's a sad case of a script prioritizing spectacle over character, and it makes Bruce look like a hypocrite during a major moment. Now it's time for The Dark Knight. This might be my all-time favorite movie, but I will admit that it has its issues, especially in the middle when the plot gets all convoluted and everyone's playing 5D chess and Gordon fakes his death and it cheaply manipulates the audience. And again, the movie is not perfect. It definitely has some big picture issues. But as far as picking the worst scene, it's tricky because the scenes themselves are great. Like Gordon's fake death is probably the worst part of the movie, but that scene isn't the problem. It's
It paid off. I like that he was the one in the SWAT van the whole time while that guy was commenting. While they were chasing after. While the Joker was chasing after Harvey Dent.
the overall idea of the fake death that's the problem. Now, as for the worst scene, I got to go with the Hong Kong kidnapping here.
What?
If you remember,
What? That scene's awesome, dude. I love that scene. That scene is freaking iconic, especially with him gliding into the building. That's one of my favorite moments of any Batman movie. Just seeing him glide outside the building.
Mr. Lau is the guy who launders money for the Gotham mob, and he calculates his way out of the country to avoid legal consequences. This prompts Batman to follow him and plan a high-stakes kidnapping. Our hero has about 2 minutes to infiltrate Lau's building, capture the man, and escape via a military skyhook. It's a clever plan, but unfortunately, it's too clever. There are no setbacks, there's no drama, no
Too
conflict.
clever.
Batman simply goes through the motions, and the movie's soundtrack fools you into thinking the scene is more exciting than it really is.
Oh, give me a break. This reminded me of a Bond movie. This was so cool. But it's Batman doing the shit. That makes it even cooler.
Typically, when we have a scene like this, we want the hero to struggle. We want the plan to go sideways so we can see how the hero
Not
reacts
always.
and how he improvises in order to
You don't always
succeed.
have to have the
But
plane go
here,
sideways.
Batman faces no meaningful challenge, and the scene feels flat beneath all the visual spectacle. Next up, we have Rise of Skywalker. Dark Knight Rises. You have to excuse me. I get the two mixed up because the internet likes to pretend that Rises is this irredeemable mess, but I couldn't disagree more. Now, is the film heavily flawed? Yes, absolutely. And I've picked it apart on the channel several times before. But Rises also delivers a compelling redemption story while packing some incredibly emotional moments.
I still love everything with Alfred. I love, Bruce and Alfred's relationship. Bane is a pretty intimidating villain. Even Catwoman I kind of liked. Trying to think, what didn't I like? I guess Daggett could have been more of a character. Talia, the actress who plays Talia, I don't really care for, but it's okay. It didn't ruin the movie for me. I still love watching this movie.
The highs are ridiculously high in this one, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't love this movie. Anyway, the worst scene is without a doubt Bane's death scene.
I knew it. I
This
knew
comes after Batman
it.
defeats Bane in hand-to-hand
called it.
combat, and Miranda reveals herself.
Because it's I get why. Because it's underwhelming. You want to see Batman defeat him, but he's just blown away by Catwoman instead.
Talia al Ghul. She then demotes Bane to the role of backup quarterback, and Bane is left to babysit Batman while Talia heads.
Yeah, that's another thing that people would complain about is that she was the one behind everything the entire time. Bane was actually just an underling or second in command, not actually the commander.
Gotham. Before she leaves, she orders Bane to keep Batman alive until the bomb goes off. Then we get the worst scene. Once Batman and Bane are alone, Bane declares that he has to kill Batman now.
You'll just have to imagine the fire.
Not only is there absolutely no reason for this, but earlier in the movie, Bane explicitly said that he wanted Bruce to witness the destruction of his city. So now Bane is pulling a complete 180, and worse yet, Batman makes no attempt to save himself. But that's okay because Catwoman somehow arrives on the Batbike without making any noise, and she kills Bane with a missile. The movie's main villain dies a comedic death, and Catwoman cracks a joke to further disrespect the character. Now we move on to, oh God, no, don't do this to me, please.
Martha!
Anything but Batman versus Superman. Please, any movie at all. I'll talk about The Notebook if I have to. Anything to spare me from BVS.
Okay, this is a bit dramatic. that movie's, I mean, the theatrical version was horrible, but whenever they stuck the extra scenes in for the extended version, it made a lot more sense. I actually like watching that movie too.
I can't do this, guys. I've suffered enough. I can't afford another trip to the hospital. Please just
take your meds.
All right, fine. It is a Batman movie. I did sign up for this, so I'll just have to make this quick. Now, we all know what the worst scene is. It's the leading cause of brain damage in the civilized world, and of course, the one I'm talking about is the Martha scene. This comes right after Batman defeats Superman in their big battle. Before attempting to finish off his superhuman enemy, Batman conveniently starts rambling about his parents.
Cooked.
Then he grabs his kryptonite spear and prepares to deliver the killing blow. That's when Superman conveniently blurts out that Batman is letting Lex Luthor kill Martha. You know, Martha, not my mom or Martha Kent, just Martha. As if Batman is supposed to know exactly who.
I understood what Zach was going for, though. Just to bridge some kind of connection between the two of them. Their moms are both named Martha.
Talking about. And of course, Batman doesn't know, but his own mother was named Martha, and that causes him to hesitate long enough for Lois Lane to report the news that Superman's mother is also Martha. Somehow, this convinces Batman to rethink his heated motivations for killing
Superman. He keeps playing that Rise of Skywalker clip. Somehow Palpatine returned.
And the two team up shortly after. I still don't understand how a professional film studio created a movie called Batman vs. Superman, a movie where two iconic characters fight to the death, only for the conflict to be resolved by the fact that their mothers share the same first name.
No, let's be real. Nobody really wanted them to fight that long. I mean, I never wanted them to fight at all. I just wanted a world's finest movie where they team up the entire time. You know, like maybe they're at odds for a little bit, like in the animated Batman and Superman series, where they cross over. Lex and Joker team up. At first, Bruce is dating Lois, so he's kind of at odds with Clark. They don't really like each other at first, but throughout, you know, the animated series like Justice League and everything, they become best friends basically. And you know, when one of them thinks the other one's dead, they're devastated. That's the kind of relationship I wanted them to have. And so I was fine with the turn of events when it happened. I'm like, okay, finally, we got them teaming up. Like, that's what I wanted to see the whole time.
Like, who thought of this? Who let this happen? How is this legal? All right, now that the pain and suffering is over, let's move on to something fun. The Lego Batman movie is a blast. It's one of those movies that rewards you for being
I adore this movie too.
A fan of the franchise it pokes fun at. And the more familiar you are with Batman, the more you get out of this one. I normally don't like comedies because I don't have a soul, but I love this movie because it takes a fresh approach to the character while sprinkling in all sorts of references for diehard fans. Now, picking the worst scene here is tough. Not just because this is a comedy and humor is subjective, but also because
Michael Cera was hilarious as Robin.
a fun, breezy movie. There's no particular scene that leaps out at me as unbearable, so I decided to go with the prison release scene. Basically, what happens is Batman infiltrates Arkham Asylum so he can send the Joker to the Phantom Zone. The police get angry at Batman and they trap him and Robin in Arkham together. From there, our heroes have a chat and start beatboxing until Barbara Gordon releases them so everybody can save Gotham. And this is by no means a terrible scene, but the reason why I consider it the worst one is because it's a blown opportunity. We have this cocky, self absorbed version of Batman stuck in Arkham, and a prison escape scene could have been hilarious, especially when you mix in Robin and all the supervillains trapped in there with them. But instead of a fun escape, all we get are a couple of forgettable conversations before Batman and his team walk out the door. Finally, we
I
have
loved Alfred pulling out the 66 Batman suit. I missed the 60s.
Batman. For the most part, I love this movie. The first 2 hours and 15 minutes are excellent. But then once the Riddler gets captured,
Everybody agrees on the third act just kind of collapsing the
the
movie.
movie punches itself in the face for the rest of its runtime. I've talked about this issue on the channel before. I just don't like how they take this gritty, grounded detective story and overextend it for the sake of cramming in a bunch of spectacle. The story loses its identity.
I like the spectacle. I loved him coming down like that. That was freaking badass. And I didn't really mind the Riddler being kind of an incel YouTuber or whatever. Because his plan was still pretty interesting. The only thing I didn't like was him spurging out whenever Batman, confronts him in Arkham, and Riddler finds out, oh, he's not actually working with me like I thought. Riddler thought Batman was helping him the whole time when he was trying to stop him. Yeah, I didn't like him screaming so much. That was a little over the top.
In those last 45 minutes, and it's a shame because this is the first live action film that truly explores Batman as a detective. Anyway, the worst scene is at the end when Batman battles the Riddler's henchmen. By this point, the city has been flooded and people have taken refuge inside Gotham Square Garden. That's where the Riddler's goons are waiting with their rifles and they attempt to kill the newly elected mayor. Batman then arrives in dramatic fashion and fights the gang until he's eventually outmatched and hanging on for his life. One of the goons prepares to kill him with a shotgun, and the moment is dragged out in cliched fashion. Meanwhile, Batman doesn't do anything to protect himself, probably because he read the script and he knows Catwoman's going to save him right before the shotgun goes off.
Yeah, that looked like.
Where have I seen this before? Next thing we know, Catwoman is kissing him. And telling him
Okay,
it's
you can blame Hollywood for that. They can't have the main character always coming out without a woman saving him nowadays.
over, but of course this movie never wants to be over, so another goon attacks, and then Batman injects himself with adrenaline.
Adrenaline.
That
Yeah.
sends him into rage mode, and he nearly
And
kills
I
the
kind of assumed this was an early form of Venom.
guy before Gordon arrives to remind.
There's a whole storyline in the comics of him getting addicted to Venom, the stuff that Bane uses to get huge, jacked.
Batman that murder would ruin his character arc. The goon then declares himself to be Vengeance, and Batman realizes how dangerous that idea can be. This scene has many problems. First, I don't like the fact that the real Riddler is absent. And yes, I understand that they're trying to show that the Riddler's ideas and his henchmen can be just as dangerous as the big bad himself, but without the main villain present, the big fight feels like more of a side mission. Then we
This is how it is in most of Batman comics, though. Like, they'll have henchmen doing the dirty work for them. They won't actually be present for the criminal activity a lot of times. It's not like back in the 60s series.
have Adrenaline Ex Machina, we have Catwoman and Gordon with convenient back-to-back saves, and we have the cliched, let me hesitate before killing the hero routine. Now, to be fair, one thing I do love about this scene is the moment where the henchman says the line, I'm vengeance. It's a fantastic callback to the earlier moment where Batman beats up one of the Joker's goons.
Yeah, he realizes I need to be more than just vengeance. Like, I need to be a symbol of hope instead.
And it hits like a nuke. Batman's reaction is incredible here, and it does a great job driving his arc toward its conclusion.
Yeah, his war on crime. It had the inverse effects, like not the effect he.
The rest of the scene falls flat by
I
comparison.
think he says that
So
at
I
the
hope
end of
this
the movie.
helps. Question of the day: what do you think are the worst Batman scenes?
I can't really think of any at the moment. I love most Batman media. There's not a lot of scenes that make me cringe. Mostly from Batman and Robin, I guess. Just because that movie's so goofy. If I watched more of the '60s series, I may say something. But I really love Frank Gorshin as the Riddler, and man, Burgess Meredith. I love watching him. And I really did not agree with a lot of the things he had on this list. It's kind of a crap list, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. I may come up with a list of the best Batman scenes one day and put it up here. That ought to be interesting. That'll be fun. So stay tuned for that. Bye bye for now.